Do you feel left behind by AI and maybe Microsoft 365 Copilot in general? This video is for you. You're not behind. Here's how to become Copilot native in 2025. If you're new to the channel, I'm Gavin Jones from MeTime, where we help organizations be more efficient, help make their employees' lives easier, happening to get more out of Microsoft 365 to do it. If you're interested in working together, then book a call using the link in the description below. Or if you want to find out more about our approach or just help yourself, then check out some free training that we've got in one of the links in the description below. But on to Copilot and AI in general. You can be forgiven for thinking you're behind. If you're not using AI at all right now, then you might be a little bit behind, but we'll try and fix that in this video. We're going to focus on Copilot because if you're watching this video, you're probably already in the Microsoft ecosystem. Copilot is the one that comes for free, although Microsoft don't talk about the free one that often, which we'll dive into. And it's pretty much the only one that's really going to care about the security of your data, apart from Apple. And Apple is not, at the moment, great use case for businesses, I would say. So we're focusing on organizational efficiency and therefore using Copilot. I don't sell any licenses, so that's probably why I talk more about free Copilot than most other channels that you might see. If they sell licenses, then maybe I approach them with a bit of healthy skepticism. So in my work, I use Grok, x.com, old Twitter, their AI for pictures, because I think it generates a decent picture without much extra prompting. I use ChatGPT paid because I think it really is better for marketing and it's got better integration with the web, even though Copilot promises to do the same thing. Some of the answers that I get are not great. But if I was in a corporate job or if I was an employee in an organization, I would only use Copilot. And that's the advice that I'm going to give you today. If it would be useful for you to just have an AI policy done for you and that would be valuable, then drop a comment below, and if enough people say, yeah, that'll be cool, I'll just make some way to make that available for free on my website if you just sign up with your email to get on my email list. So if that's useful, comment AI policy in the comments below and I'll make sure that we can get that sorted and reply to you in the comments. But if you are feeling behind, so I guess first of all, Microsoft keeps changing the name. So hopefully by the time you watch this video, the name will have stayed the same. There's Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat. This is this web view here. If you don't pay for Copilot, you won't see this toggle. It'll just be the web one, but it won't tell you. That's where you can get access into the web. Obviously, you can ask it anything like any other AI apps if you've used them. If you haven't, don't worry. You can just type the prompt in whatever you think of asking AI, it's going to return something back. So you could say like, generate me a business plan, and it's going to do it in text. You could say, write me a marketing campaign. It's going to do that back in text. The development that's really made the free one really valuable is this little add a file button. So when AI, say when it first came out, at the start of 2024, back end of 2023, everyone was like scrambling in AI and trying to monetize it and making like their own apps and grounding it in different data and reselling it. Now we can just upload a file and the AI is already grounded in whatever file that is, and we can just ask questions about that file. So we'll have a look at that. So there's Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat, that's the free one, and there's Microsoft 365 Copilot, that's the paid one, which is this work toggle. Pretty much the only difference, we'll have a look at some of the use cases, is that the paid one is grounded in everything that goes through that you've got access to at work. So everything in your OneDrive, everything in any SharePoint site that you've got access to, all of your meetings, all of your emails, everything. So here you can say, what's, catch up in my inbox. We're not in our inbox right now, we're in the Copilot app, and it's going to dive into Outlook, see what's new, and then return it. I don't think that's particularly useful because I could just go into my inbox and see it anyway. So there's lots of things that in AI that people have got as templates and things, and you're like, well, is that actually even useful? And if it is useful, is it worth paying for? Or can you do something very similar in the free one? That's what we're going to do today to get you Copilot native in 2025. So I've seen some other videos where they're really hammering on about Copilot being worth the money because it's only £1 a day and it saves loads of time. And that's true. If you're not using AI at all and then you go to the paid one, like, you will save time. Absolutely, definitely. I've been into organizations where people are still taking handwritten minutes and then spending a day typing them up and then summarizing them themselves manually and then coming out with the actions. And like, by the time it comes out, it's like everything's moved on. It's like it takes 2 weeks for the minutes to come out. It's like, that's not useful. Now you can do that in like 15 seconds in Copilot, and you can do it in free, which most people don't talk about. So one of the things, we've stepped through a few apps. If you get paid Copilot, that's where Copilot's going to show up pretty much in every Microsoft 365 app that you can think of. So if we think about our email, we've got Copilot right in here. You have to pay for it to get this Copilot button in Outlook. We've already hit this Copilot button, so we've got Copilot chat at the side, and it's getting some prompts to, pulled out here to see if you just want to start with something, if you don't know what it does. There's also some prompts down here, so you can like help it find time to meet with somebody, schedule a meeting. You can catch up on stuff, so like summarize emails from the last week or whatever. You can ask it stuff, find a file from somebody, and you can get it to take action. So I guess AI being very useful is where it can actually go and do stuff for you. That's what all the AI companies are scrambling to try and make it do that. And at the moment, it's quite limited. So if we step through some of these things that other people might say are really useful, save time, and therefore worth paying, let's just see, like, that isn't the ROI calculation I think most organizations should do. You've already paying for Microsoft, so therefore you've already got free Copilot, and so the ROI is worth, is it saving extra time from going to paid Copilot than going from free Copilot? That should be your return on investment. And usually that time is only a couple of clicks, because we can get most of the stuff you can do in the paid Copilot for free already, and then you save yourself $30 per person per month. So if you just want to do help me write a reply to this email, you can click it and it's going to generate you some responses. Now, even though that's the first button, it's like, sorry, I can't help you out with that. Here are some things I can do. It's like, well, that's paid. I'm paying for this feature to have it right next in my Outlook. We could just copy and paste that entire email, stick it into free Copilot, and ask the exact same. So we'll make it sure it's free. So we'll click on web. Help me reply to this email. That was a prompt, and we'll just put it in quotes, paste it in there, and I reckon we're going to get a better answer than I can't do it. Sure, here's a reply I can use. So we've just copy and pasted it, say without reading it that we wanted to then just go and reply. We just come back, hit reply, and paste it in. So already, like, that was only a couple of clicks. That was pretty quick. We're only saving a little bit of time from having Copilot here. This is paid one on the side. And obviously it didn't even work. Help me plan. So help me set my out of office from when's half term? Next week, 17th Feb to, I don't know, 24th Feb. Give myself a bit of extra time. And here, like, it can actually set stuff for you. So it's just popped up a dialog box. So if you pull the dates out and it's got an automatic reply, we can hit save, and then that will actually set our out of office. So you think, oh, that might be useful, but is it worth paying 30 quid for? I don't think so, given that we can do exactly the same thing in Viva Insights already. So if we go into our Viva Insights side here, not only can we set focus time, which I'd recommend doing if you don't already do it, prepare for meetings, plan your time away, we can just click that. It's got exactly the same thing. We can do start date, and now I can go and pick the date. So I don't have to look at my calendar to find out when half term is. It's actually the 17th to the 21st. Schedule. It's already got a message there, and you can set it outside your organization, save, and that's done. So Copilot's not really saving us much time there either. Paid, there's other ways we can do it. So don't get wrapped up in the AI hype thinking, well, I need to pay for it because it's going to save time. You can already save time with other apps or the free version of Copilot. And that's how you might be able to start to become Copilot native in 2025. Viva Insights also does some other cool things which Copilot didn't. So we can resolve meetings. So which meetings have I got whilst I've booked time away? So I need to cancel these meetings or let people know. And I can book time to focus either end of holiday. So like maybe I just want the afternoon free on the Friday. I want the morning free when I come back. Copilot didn't help us do that. So the other main thing that it does in Outlook is this summary by Copilot. So say you had a big email thread and you're like, oh, I can't be bothered to read through all that. You click summary and it's going to generate a summary for you. Obviously, it takes a bit of time to sort it out, but it gives us a summary there of that email chain. Obviously, that was one click, but like how many email trails are you really going to get through that you want to summarize? I'm not sure. I just happen to just go through an email. Maybe I don't get as long emails as the people, but I never find myself using that, and that you have to pay for that. Everything that where Copilot appears in other Microsoft 365 apps, that's all the paid version of Copilot. Microsoft 365 Copilot. Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat is the one we keep flipping onto where it's web. So how will we summarize a long email trail? Well, if it's that long that you need to summarize it, it would be worth then taking some time to put it into free Copilot. So I would print it as a PDF, save, stick it in my downloads so it's easy to get, done, go into Copilot, start a new chat, summarize this email thread, upload the file, which we've just done. It's now grounded in that email. Just read it, click go, and we're going to get pretty similar, if not better, answer. So is it useful in Outlook? I don't find myself using it in Outlook at all. Let's jump on to Word. So again, Copilot, and hopefully this video is just giving you some examples of things you can do in AI, whether you pay for it or not. And hopefully you're seeing that you don't have to spend money to get most of the benefits from AI right now in 2025, and you can become Copilot native. If you're not using AI at all to do any of these tasks, then AI is really good. It can speed up your workflow. So AI in Word. So I've got this modern workplace recommendations. This was quite a long one. If you're interested in getting modern workplace recommendations for your organization, that's what will help companies do. It's a good place to start, and we get you a plan of not only what's going to work for your organization, the apps to use, the processes to move, how the people are likely to respond to it, and the change plan to make sure you get working in a more modern way. This one was an old format. It's quite long as we're scrolling through, but if getting a plan about how to work in a more modern way using Microsoft 365 more would be valuable, then book a call using the link in the description below and we can get that sorted for you as well. So this one was quite a long one. Because we paid for Copilot, we've got the Copilot button right in Word. Again, we've got some prompts. So you can summarize this document, generate an image of something to go and stick in, and you can, how can I more concisely describe blah, blah, blah. So you can get Copilot right as you're writing, which you think might be useful. There's also then extra prompts, so we can see how to write more confidently, find specific information, list pros and cons, who's who, create a banner. But most of the time, what AI is really good at is just going to be summarizing information and generating information in a different way than you've written it. So maybe you're like, can you just expand this into the style of a report? Here's my thoughts, and it'll write it for you. AI is really good at that. But again, you can do that in free Copilot. Or you can summarize this document because it's too long and I just want to know about it. I can't be bothered to read it. AI is really good at that. Again, we can use the paid one because it's right in Word. Summarize this doc. See how good a job it does. Jittering about quite a bit. So you see that's quite a long summary. I mean, it was a long document, but I've already written the summary in the first page anyway, and I'm not sure this is shorter than the summary. So, but if that was useful, you could go and paste that into the front page. You can then, you can say make it more formal, make it more casual. You could say make it more concise. You could say make it into 3 bullet points. Well, however you want it to structure it, that's what AI is great at. But like most things, we can do this exactly the same thing without paying, because we can just go and stick that same file into free Copilot and just say summarize, hit go, and we're going to get a very similar, if not the same answer, because even if you ask AI the same question again at a different time, it produces a different answer anyway. So you can see that I thought that was a lot quicker to return that than it was in Word. It seems a bit easier to read because it's not stuck in the sidebar, so that might be more useful. And I think the summary is actually a bit more concise than the one that we did in Word. So we can do pretty much the same thing in Word and Outlook in free Copilot with a couple of extra clicks. Like I say, I don't find myself using it in Outlook at all. When I do use it in Word, sometimes I actually just want to copy and paste bits of text out. Now, you can highlight text and then use this Copilot button here. If you pay for it, the auto rewrite, make shorter, and obviously that's going to do it straight in Word. But sometimes, to be honest, I just copy and paste that out into free Copilot still because it's a bit easier to read. So you could say rewrite this section into bullets, just put quotes around it so it knows what we're talking about, and it's going to do something like that for you. You can then just go and copy and paste that back into your Word documents. There's not much switching between a couple of tabs or a couple of apps just to get this pretty much the same functionality. If we jump on to Teams, that is the best use case of Copilot so far, in my humble opinion. And you can get Copilot straight into Teams. You can get free Copilot straight into Teams. Again, whether you went through chat and Copilot or pinned your Copilot app at the side, you can have work and web. Web's the only thing you get if you haven't paid for it. But again, it's pretty much integrated into everything. So if I had a long chat, I'll just pick the one with myself. Copilot appears in the sidebar, and you can summarize chats, from what's gone on in the chat if that's useful. I think chat is already it's quite, bite-sized anyway. Why do you need to bother summarizing it? But what it is good at summarizing is meetings. So if we went on to our Modern Workplace Accelerator call, if you're interested in joining the Microsoft 365 Accelerator, we're in a group of your peers of small businesses, all trying to structure their Microsoft 365 environment themselves and get more out of it and understand all the apps and fit their processes to the right Microsoft 365 apps and understand all the nuances and go through all of the apps in Microsoft 365, then book a call using the link in the description below to see if you're a good fit to join. But we once a week go through, and you can see, because we pay for Copilot, we've got this AI generated meeting notes, which is actually the same as intelligent recap you get if you just get Teams Premium. You just get this bit. If you pay for Copilot, you in addition get this Copilot button where then you can ask anything about the meeting, which I think is really, really handy. Again, we can look at the prompts and just generate meeting notes, which is what we've already done. So we can see the sorts of things that we covered in that call. But say it was a sales call, I can then just ask any question about it. So I can say, well, did I say when I'd get back to them? And it'll scan through the transcript and tell me. It's like, what were the pain points that they discussed on the sales call, and you can bring that out and put it into the proposal. You can do that from Teams right in Copilot. If you pay for it, you could probably pull it out into Word directly. So can you summarize the meeting with, and then you can go and pick meetings straight from here whilst you're in Word. But again, look, it's not working. So I can't actually do that, even though I pay for it. It's just, this isn't, it's just not working at the time I've gone to record this video. So sometimes it doesn't work anyway. So like, you're paying for it, and you've seen twice only during this last 20 minutes, half an hour, that twice it's not worked. It didn't work in Outlook and it didn't work in Word. So sometimes it's easier just to go out into free Copilot anyway. So Teams is really useful to summarize meetings. If you're not using AI to summarize your meetings already, that's the one thing that it's going to be an absolute game changer for you. But you don't need to pay for Copilot. Just make sure you record with the transcript on, or just have the transcript on. We can go and download this transcript as a document, and then in free Copilot, start a new chat, upload our file, and again, we can just say summarize, and it's going to give us a summary of that call. If we want to create some marketing material about it, we can just say, can you generate an email to go through what we went through to try and get other people interested in Microsoft 365 Accelerator to book a call? You can just ask it that. You can ask it anything. You can say, give me a table of pros and cons. We'll get in. Based now, we've got a summary. It's given us other examples of stuff we might want to ask it. So can you explain Microsoft bookings? Because we covered that on the call. All the stuff, anything that there's no difference between paid and free once you've grounded it in a document, say. And so one of the other things that Microsoft are pushing quite a lot is Copilot agents. And you can see here we've got a couple of agents. We can even create an agent. And there's some like pre-made ones like Career Coach, Prompt Coach, Writing Coach. All they're really doing is just, if we look at this one, having instructions for that agent to like, how am I going to reply to something that someone asks them? But like, you could just put that in your prompt anyway. It's like, you could just say, assume you're an expert career coach. How would you advise me to do X, Y, Z? You could do that all in your own prompt. So all this particular agent is doing is just having some extra instructions to go into every prompt there. And then having some like starter prompts that might be useful. So you're like helping create an agent. The main useful one that could be useful, especially for policies and things, is where you can put in a SharePoint site to say, well, this SharePoint site contains all of our, if I put the Modern Workplace Accelerator, say we put the Q&A section there. It's like, now we've just grounded that agent in it, all of the files to do in that SharePoint site. And so that actually might be useful. So say you had a repository of all your HR files, you could say, well, travel and expenses, or whatever the policy was, health and safety, people can now just interrogate all of those files, and they're the official files. So it's not like it's combing through everything that someone's got access to and maybe finding the wrong information. As long as that specific place contains all the latest information, people can go and just interrogate that cut down version, and that's what the agent is doing right now. I think they've got more plans for agents where it's actually going to go and do other things for you, but remain healthily skeptical until we see that working properly. And again, you could get something similar in the free version. So you could just download a policy off your intranet and then upload it here, still interrogate it the same as you would do from the agent. So as long as you can get the right file, and you can upload multiple files. So we could upload both of these, although they're different. One's mail and one's a document, and they're completely different subjects, so it might confuse it. But say you had all your policies, say you had a handful of policies, 5 policies, you could just download them all, upload them into free Copilot, and then just interrogate it rather than paying and creating an agent. And Microsoft have got a strange pay-as-you-go plan for agents as well. So you need to either have a license to interrogate an agent, or it's going to charge you like 10 to 50p per use. And you can check out this video next if that is useful. But thanks for watching so far, and we'll see you in the next one.